Hello, this is Karen and welcome back to Little Blessings. For today's video, I have this thank you card. And I'll be using the Floating Foliage 3D Embossing Folder. The Simple Gradients die set from Altenew. The new Distress Oxide ink Salvage Patina. Also Distress Oxide ink Twisted Citron. Antique Gold Pigment ink from Altenew. These small ink blending tools. And Gold Glimmer Metallic ink from Hero Arts. Now let's start with this card. And here I have the Floating Foliage 3D Embossing Folder. And I'll be adding Distress Oxide ink Salvage Patina on the raised areas of this embossing folder only. I'll make sure I have the best coverage possible. Okay, now I have this white cardstock and I will put it inside the embossing folder and I will run this through my Gemini Junior. And this is how my panel looks now. By the way, the sandwich that I use with this Gemini Junior die cutting machine is one clear plate plus the embossing folder and the other clear plate on top, and this works really good for me. As you can see, I'm applying Distress Oxide ink Twisted Citron to the background of this panel. To apply this ink, I'm using this small ink blending tool from Altenew. And as you can see, I'm not being careful when applying the ink around the panel, but still it's going to look good. And now it's time to add the Salvage Patina Distress Oxide ink on top of the leaves, just like so. And once again, I'm not being careful when applying the ink. I'm speeding up this part of the video so you can see the whole process. You can leave this panel just the way it is now. But I decided to add more dimension to the leaves by applying Antique Gold Pigment ink from Altenew. Also, this way I'm creating some shadows around the leaves. This is a good and easy way to add more dimension and definition to this panel, plus I'm adding a bit of shimmer around. Now I'm leaving you watch how I finished all these leaves and I'll be back shortly. Now that I have finished adding color to this background, I'll go ahead and add more Antique Gold Pigment ink to all four borders of this panel. Now all four sides of my background have more definition and they look really good. Let's jump now to the fun part of adding splashes around this panel. And for that, I will be using Gold Glimmer Metallic ink and a watercolor brush. Once my panel was dry and off camera, I applied squares of foam tape to the back of this panel and I adhere a white folded note card, and this is how it looks. Now that my background is ready, I'll be die cutting the Thanks Word die and shadow from the Simple Gradients die set out of this cardstock where I have previously applied Salvage Patina Distress Oxide ink. And here you have both die cuts. Now I'm gonna add this word die sentiment on top of this panel using glue. And as my final touch, I'll be adding these enamel dots that my friend Julie Hickey sent to me. Off camera, I ended up changing a little bit the placement of the last enamel dots. And here I have my card ready and finished. It was really easy to make this card, and I hope you get some inspiration and try this technique. Thank you so much for stopping by, and see you next time.